What's up, peeps? Well, got some updates on the giveaway car. Done gave it away. Young guy and his kid came into the hobby shop and asked a few questions and expressed some interest in the hobby scene and the drift car scene. So, I asked him a few basic questions like, would your kid be interested in this? Would you be interested in this as a hobby? Or does my beard look cool? Or do you think your son would get engaged in this and, you know, learn to tinker on cars and do cool stuff like that? And I have to say, they said, yeah, pretty much gave it to him. They were bowled over. Um, Not going to name names, but they know who they are. They had an absolute blast with it. And in fact, the kid was sharing it with yet another kid, which I thought was really cool. So good for them. Gave them the lowdown on the car. And hope they have fun with it. I really hope they have fun with it, and hope everything works out for him, and maybe the dad will get a car for himself. That's what happened in the last giveaway. So we'll see. Hope they enjoy it. So what I'm going to do now is a little bit of a build video. I'm not going to get too super depth entailed into the build itself, but give you a quick introduction to the kit. Have a little time-lapse video, and at the end I'll give my thoughts on the kit. So here goes. We got the old VS410 Vanquish. It's supposed to be... Vanquish is one of the more top-of-the-line chassis manufacturers. This is a VS410 builder's kit. Performance four-wheel drive platform. Straight axle. Vanquish. 1/10 scale. And back of the box, you got, 90mm shocks, chassis mounted servo, 25 cast servo horn, steel C-channel chassis, 3-link front suspension, F10 front axle, stainless steel lower links. You got a slipper lockout, 32 pinion spur gear, low COG transmission, 6% overdrive gear set, scale transfer case, IDS 10 drive shafts, high offset pinion front axle, stainless steel links, steel blah blah blah, same stuff, molded plastic rock slides, center F10 rear axle. That was the factory seal. We broke that already. This VS10 builder's kit from Vanquish Products brings you the performance of a trail-ready platform and the convenience of a kit. Equipped with the VFD transmission for an efficient forward-biased drivetrain, F10 straight axles deliver the power to the ground. Use the VS10 builder's kit to suit your class for competition requirements. Designed for performance and reliability, the VS410 builder's kit is your base for a variety of purpose-built vehicles. The extensive option parts lineup from Vanquish Products allows you to use this as the base for your next custom project. Add your own wheels, tires, bodies, electronics, and bring your vision to reality. Excuse the hand, I was kind of painting today. Evo body, Corolla body, another Corolla body parts. Oh, look at that. RX-7 haven't finished in a year. Might want to get on that sometime. F-22 I've been working on for the past million years. Might finish that. Another Legends body that I'm building. Normally I do all my painting at this hyper advanced state-of-the-art paint station that I got, but being so I was doing multiple bodies at a time, I didn't want to asphyxiate myself. So some of y'all want to see me go, but I ain't going out like that. Anyway, the whole purpose of this is this. We were going to use that chassis to replace the chassis underneath this thing. This is a chassis I got off Amazon. It was kind of a cheap one. I liked it because it had the motor up front, like a real vehicle. And you got, you know, your center diff and all that, like a real vehicle. But, you know, it was cheap. It was clangy. It was bindy. I had some issues fitting in this Fusion SC motor. Excuse the wiring. It's a mess. I had a bunch of lights in there. Got some little ducts in there with the rear light up dashboard and stuff. Fake subwoofers. Had a little roll cage in it. But you know, it was a pretty beefy chassis, but again, it just wasn't really what I was, you know, really wasn't what I was after. Stock AR-44 axles, metal links. It was basically cobbled together. But it ran well enough. But I want to take this one to the next level. So, that's what we're going to do with it. Going to do a little quick time-lapse video and then give you my impressions of the kit at the end. And let you know what I think. Peace. Ta-da, we're back. Ta-da, we're back. The kit's basically finished. At least the chassis is. And I'll get you in there and take a look at it. So basically this is it. It's all plastic except for the chassis rails that are metal. And then you have the metal shocks. Got your battery located here, about midpoint. There's a transmission section right there. The motor is mounted down below. And it's protected by a little scrape shield. So the kit itself is pretty hefty. Like, it's got some heft to it. The axles are real nice. It's got real helical cut gears in the differential. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty smooth. It's got high clearance pumpkins. You know, got all your links good to go. Decent articulation. You know, it's going to be a little bit limited on the articulation because it's meant to be a rock crawler. With rock crawlers, you don't want like too crazy articulation. You want to keep suspension from unloading. These aren't the tires and wheels that are going to go on it. I have a set on order that are similar in size. They're going to be more offset outwards, so these are tucked in a little too far, but they're on there just to keep it up off the ground. The motor I went with was the old Hobby Wing Quick Run Fusion Pro Elite, which is basically a Fusion Pro, I guess. It's shortened up to fit in tighter spaces. There's all your options right there. Haven't really played with this ESC motor combo yet. I've used a bunch of the Fusion SEs, which, in my opinion, are the best bang for buck for a crawler motor ESC combo. I'm sure there's some out there that are better in certain respects, but overall, for a Fusion SC, that's not a bad deal. Like $80 or something. This is $150. This has a lot more tuning parameters, but we'll see how it goes. I've got to mount the servo yet. You can mount it either here or here, I guess. And then the body. Body's gonna fit something like that. I'm gonna lower the body down, probably trim out the wheel wells a bit, but I want to use this body again. Okay, so as far as my nitpicks and gripes about the chassis, there weren't many, but there were a few. For example, the shocks. There is some confusion going on there. All this stuff here was actually built beforehand into the shock body. I didn't realize that. I was looking for these parts for a second before I realized they were already in here. So all I had to do is build this part here. Unfortunately, I never got the O-rings. So we'll see what happens there. I'll have to scrounge some. The other point of confusion on the kit that I encountered was when you go into the links, these are all 1-for-1 scale, built them, no problem. They go through the trouble of telling you, okay, here's where the front lower links go. There's where your panhard link goes. And there's where your front upper link goes. But then they don't tell you specifically where the upper and lower rear links go. So I had a little bit of a fun time figuring that out. I'm sure somebody's going to jump out of the comment section. Well, you should know that, but no. Yeah, I should, but still, you know. They don't give you a size or nothing. They just say, hey, links go here. You figure it out. Same thing there. The other thing I ran into, and I'm pretty sure I didn't get the 50mm drive shaft extension for some reason. They gave you a shorter one, but not the 50mm one. And I know I didn't use it up on the front because there's just no way it would have fit. But maybe I'll poke back into the front and see if I accidentally snuck it in there. I don't know, but seems to me like this was missing. I had two of the shorter ones, though. What else? Going back, this transmission was actually, it looks like it's going to be really smooth. I mean, it's got all sorts of gears in there. So, oh yeah, so when you install your motor, you're going to want to make sure you get your pinion tolerance good right then and there, because when you close it up with this and you mount it into the vehicle, you're not going to be able to unless you totally remove the transmission and the motor, because the lower piece right here covers the bottom of that, so there's no quick way to get to it. So just be prepared for that. Something else I found that was odd. So they say it comes with grease and thread locker. Well, I'm pretty sure I got the thread locker. I got a tube of something that was blue. And I'm pretty sure that was a thread locker. I never got grease, though. So I used marine grade bearing grease where it called for grease. Oddly enough, in exchange for robbing me of either the grease or the thread locking stuff, the 20mm servo horn not included. Well, that's actually included in the kit. So isn't the hardware. So I'll take that trade off. Sure, why not? So overall, not a bad kit. I'm eager to get it out on the rocks, see what it does. Again, I'm waiting for the proper wheels and tires for it. Got some Trio brass 40mm wide ones. Adjustable offset. I'm going to play with this body, get it a little lower. I'd like to add that interior in it. You know, get the ducks back into the game again. Put the front bar on it, the front push bar. But again, we'll see, you know. So that's it for this part of the build. Stay tuned for more updates. And we'll see you then. Later, peeps. Peace.